up, everybody, and welcome to BB Recaps. How is everybody? Oh, look at me not putting my brand logo in the corner. Like, what is wrong with me? How are you doing, you guys, today? Today, as usual, we're going to talk about Big Brother. I do not have a lot of notes. I like what is happening in the house, but we're still on. I don't know if it's a slow season or is it that there's just really no drama. All the house agrees on a target, and it's what happens. Like, everything always lines up. There's never a wrench in the plans, and that's why I feel like the season is kind of like there was never a wrench in the plans. Like, for example, I think first week Travis left, but first week we didn't know anyone, so we didn't have any stakes. The week after was Frenchie. Everyone agreed to have Frenchie out. Last week was Brent. Everyone was in agreement that Brent should be the one leaving. And this week there seems to be a little debate as to who is leaving the house. I mean, Sarah Beth is the only one vouching for Hannah to leave, but other than that, because the cookout is so dominant in the house, it seems as though Whitney is a clear target for me. I feel like on the show they kind of led us to believe that Whitney has, Whitney has a plan to come off, but I feel like they're just teasing us. And realistically, Whitney does not have the votes because the cookout is so dominant. Who's in the cookout? Other than there are 5 people. So like, wait, 16. There were 16 people in the house. How many people got evicted? 3 people got evicted, right? 360 minus 3 is 13. The head of household and the 2 nominees cannot vote, so that's 10. The cookout has the majority of the votes. And right now, Xavier is not voting to make Hannah leave. Azza, vendetta against Whitney. So Azza's for sure voting for Hannah to stay. Xavier, Azza, Derek, F. I feel like he's going with the rest of the cookout. Tiffany has shown her loyalty to Hannah, so for sure Tiffany is keeping Hannah. And who else? Kylan, I think he's just going to go with the rest of the cookout. So in my opinion, like, they're showing all this thing as they're showing that, oh, Whitney is really working hard to get the votes, but realistically, I do not think it's going to happen because the cookout is dominant. And I know there was a debate. Someone left a comment on the channel saying that they don't think there should be a race-based alliance. I do agree that in an ideal world, like, people should not band together just because of their race. But the truth of the matter is that every single season we have white alliances. They don't call it white alliances because white is technically the default, but because of implicit biases, the white people tend to band together, right? So, and this time it's really interesting to see that the usual dynamics of Big Brother, that when the black person is on the block, is now flipped, that now this person has enough backup to be able to stay. Whereas usually, if I think last year, the whole house was for Davon and Bailey leaving. They had no problem with that. They didn't write it, they didn't express it as a racial thing. But let's be honest, the dominant alliance did not have any person of color. So that's just what I'm trying to explain. So yeah, so let's start with the episode. First off, Hannah and Whitney are on the block. Derek says that he was blindsided and he didn't even know that Hannah was an option. And to me, that's telling me that he needs to revisit his position in the, the Royal Flush Alliance, because maybe he's expendable, right? I am assuming that within the Royal Flush, the cookout will be more loyal to each other, but outside of the cookout, the teams that were formed by production are probably going to take over. So team Kings, team Queens, and King, Queens, and then Derek is the only person of the Aces that is in that big Royal Flush Alliance. So to me, once you reach that point where everyone else in the house is gone, the Royal Flush will probably target Derek. And we have seen glimpses of that in that current episode where people are saying, maybe you should target Derek because he's actually strong. He's been winning a lot of competitions. So I do feel like Derek should be careful and reassess his loyalties. I do think that it's good for him to have loyalties with everyone in the house, but just be careful who you put first in your totem pole, because you don't want to be at the totem pole of the people whose back you have, right? And then Christian tells Hannah that actually Christian tells us to the DR that he does have Hannah's back because she has promised him that she will protect him if there's something happening. I don't understand how people believe that. We have been in the house for about 4 weeks, and it's the first time you talk strategy to me. Not only is it the first time that you talk strategy to me, but I put you on the block, and I'm supposed to believe everything that you're telling me and not thinking that this is just a way for you to get removed off the block. Guys, when someone puts you on the block, I mean, when you put someone on the block, they will resent you implicitly. They won't be thankful that they're not the target. Worst case, they are the target, so they're for sure 1,000% going to resent you. But the other case is, I'm expandable enough to be a pawn for you. So either way, I'm not important to you, so I don't care. I'm just gonna say whatever just to get my booty off the block. So I really didn't understand when Christian told the DR that he wanted to protect Hannah. That made no sense to me. I mean, between Whitney not offering any deals and Hannah offering a deal, I guess you would go with the person that's offering a deal. But I would be a little suspicious of someone giving me a deal when their backs is literally against the wall. Anyways, so yes, you know what? And right now we're seeing that in the royal flush, there is a dilemma. There's one side in which Xavier is that wants to save Hannah. Like, they literally want to save Hannah because she is part of the cookout. So they want to save her. And beyond the cookout, I don't think Derek wants to be remotely associated with another Black person leaving the house, right? That's one aspect. But then you have Sarah Beth, who is like, why are you guys targeting Whitney? Whitney is not a threat. Hannah is a freaking social butterfly. Hannah is a social butterfly. She is smart. What are you guys doing not targeting her? And I freaking love Hannah. You guys know that. I love Hannah. Also, I mean, I have an allegiance to the cookout somewhat, So it hurts to hear what Sarah Beth has to say, but Sarah Beth is not wrong. In that situation, I feel like Hannah is much more of a threat. She has a solid duo with Derek. They're tied to the hip. And even what we saw today, she was comfortable enough picking Derek for the veto. And that tells you everything about their relationship, that they're a strong pair. Whitney does not have that Whitney does not have that in the house, a strong person on whom she can rely. So I kind of agree with Sarah Beth, but just because I'm like, I'm wary of Sarah Beth. Like, I'm like, no, Sarah Beth, keep Hannah at all costs. You cannot touch my Hannah, Anyway, so that's that on that. Oh yeah, and Sarah Beth is very pissed at Xavier because as soon as Christian said that the target was shifted to Hannah, as soon as Christian said that the target was shifted and now on Whitney rather than Hannah, Xavier looked so happy and Sarah Beth saw right through it. So Sarah Beth knows that Xavier is gung-ho on having Whitney leave and keeping Hannah. So yeah. So now there's a scene with Xavier and Whitney and they're together. Xavier is basically telling the DR that he was close to Whitney, so he still wants to check up on her as a friend, even though he's rooting for Hannah because Hannah is obviously in the cookout. And then Xavier tells Whitney that someone said that Whitney was gunning for the Kings the week after. And that was literally the whole house because they're the only teams of 4. And if you have a team of 4, well, you have more chances of being safe in the HOH. Oh, hey, Phil Dog, what's up? Welcome to the channel. First time seeing you in the chat. So happy to have you here. So happy. Welcome to the channel. This is a great season. Are you like a fan of Big Brother? Have you watched it for a long time? Because I feel like I just watched Big Brother Canada 9 and I was way more excited about Big Brother Canada 9. That's why it's really hard for me to say like that this is a great season. But also I don't watch the live feeds. I actually tried to subscribe to Paramount Plus to watch the live feeds. But I subscribed to Paramount Plus to watch the live feeds, but I don't think it's available for me in Canada, so I canceled my subscription right away. Which one was Heck Yeah? Heck Yeah, it's your first season of Big Brother. Heck Yeah, you watch the live feeds. I feel like I'm not getting the full experience because I'm not watching live feeds. There's literally nowhere else where I can find the live feeds. I look for them, I couldn't. The clips that I see are so short that it's not telling a full story. Last year I started watching Big Brother a lot of seasons. Okay, so I mean, this season is not bad. Like, it's not giving me Big Brother 22 or Big Brother 21, but I have seen better seasons of Big Brother. And I think that I like okay, so my first season of Big Brother was Big Brother 15. Then I watched a bunch of seasons that same year. And then after Big Brother 16 was my first time returning and watching like a newly fresh seasons, like a new season. And I really like BB16, but a lot of people did not like BB16. So I kind of feel like maybe you're in the same boat, that because it's your second year watching Big Brother with like the eye of an expert, I would say, then, and while it's going on live, maybe that's why you like this season, because I feel like the season is just a little bit slow. I mean, it's not that it's slow, it's that there's no drama. I mean, they always have a target, and the person who's the target is always the person leaving. There's no turmoil, there's no back and forth. Yes, Sarah Beth doesn't agree with Hannah staying, but it's only Sarah Beth, and who's Sarah Beth versus the whole house, you know? Yeah, I love Big Brother. I love the cast. The cast is amazing. The cast, I freaking love these people. Like, there's no one in the house that I hate, literally. But if you want to watch really good seasons of Big Brother, I always say it on the live stream, but go watch Big Brother Canada season 5. It's probably it's my favorite season. If you want to watch it, I don't know if you're American or Canadian, but it's literally on the Global TV YouTube channel, and they have a playlist of Big Brother seasons. And if you click Big Brother Canada 5, I promise you will not regret it. Actually, I can't promise, because maybe you might regret it, because after you won't watch Big Brother the same, you're gonna love Big Brother Canada 5 so much that every other season is going to pale in comparison to Big Brother Canada 5. So 1000% you should watch Big Brother Canada 5. I would say of North American history, it's probably one of the best seasons. I think it is. So go watch that. Like, it's your homework before the next night. Okay, so let me read. You said I watched Big Brother 6, 7, 8, Eric Stein. Oh shit. So you've watched a lot of season 10, 11, 12, 14. Okay, you haven't watched 13. Very good choice, because I did not like 13. I think you've even watched more seasons than I have, because I didn't go that far back in the past. My latest season that I've watched, well, the oldest season that I've watched is Big Brother 12. And then after I went up from Big Brother 12. So you watched Big Brother 14. Yeah, 14 was a good season. 15, 16. I would watch 18. I like BB18 as well. 16. You didn't watch 17. 17, it wasn't a bad season. It's just that the people I was rooting for weren't like doing well in the game. So that's why it tainted my experience. BB 16, 17, 16, okay, 17, 18, 19, you did well not watching 19, because I think Big Brother 19 was probably the worst season I've ever watched in Big Brother history. BB20 was good, but near the end, it got boring, because there was like a dominating alliance and they were winning everything. Falte was just a big mess. BB21 was a mess. BB22, and BB22 is aight. Oh yeah, and what did you say? Oh yeah, Kevin from Big Brother Canada 5. I'm USA, but I know Kevin from BB Can 5. Yes, have you watched it? Like, have you watched the season? Like, I know you know Kevin Martin probably, but have you watched the season? And bonus, okay, Kevin on his Twitch channel, he watches the episodes with Bruno, so he gives all the behind the scenes, but be careful because there are spoilers. So I would just watch the season without Kevin's commentary, and then if you have time, you go back to Kevin Martin's commentary on Twitch. It's really fun. Never mind, I watched 13. Okay, but 13, I didn't really like that season. I thought there were too many followers. Jeff, Jordan, Rachel, Brendan were dominating the season, so it's kind of boring in that sense. But yeah, I'm so happy. I love when we have fans of Big Brother. I love it. I love that we have this community here of talking about Big Brother. Oh yeah, you watched on YouTube? Which one? Wait, BB Can 5 or BB13 that you watch on YouTube? Yeah. Which one of the two? So yeah, let me continue the episode while you give me your answer. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I said that Xavier told Whitney that someone said that Whitney was targeting the Kings, but that was the whole freaking house. And then we get a flashback to Derek. So I don't know if Xavier got that information from Derek. If so, that sucks because Derek is like, Derek is, he's betraying his own team members that he wants to save in the end. Now he's in trouble, right? Because he threw Whitney under the bus and she's on the block and he wants to save her, right? And yeah, Whitney feels like she's being scapegoated for everything because it's literally the house because they are full. None of them have been evicted so far, and the rest of the teams have at least one member who's been evicted. So of course they're going to target the Kings. I mean, don't take it personally. But then again, in Big Brother, you need an excuse to target people. Oh, so you watch BB23 on YouTube. Wasn't it the best season though? Wasn't it the best season? And if you've watched Big Brother Canada 5, watch Big Brother Canada 9. Big Brother Canada 9 was such a good season. Every week was like every week had something huge cooking, okay? So that's your next assignment, to watch Big Brother Canada 9. It's super fun. Big Brother Canada 9. I always say this, but I'm starting to feel like Big Brother Canada is the better North American franchise. Yo, isn't it the best Big Brother you said best Big Brother Canada season ever. I would even argue to say that it's the best Big Brother season ever. Change my mind. Yes, okay, so are you Canadian or are you American? Because I feel like Americans, like, there's a small part of America that watches Big Brother Canada 9, but Big Brother Canada, but not that much. But yeah, so happy to have you. Yeah, we understood. So yeah, moving on to the episode. Whitney tells Christian that she did not say his name. That's a lie. Oh, so you're American. So how come you watch, like, what has made you stumble upon Big Brother Canada? Because you just love Big Brother, that's why you're watching Canada? I freaking love Big Brother. And if you understand French, there's another show that it's not okay. So Big Brother has a lot of franchises around the world, sorry, and they're all different, right? In Australia, it's a different version. In blah blah blah, in every country. In France, the version of Big Brother is called Secret Story. It was so good. If you understand French, Secret Story season 10 was so good. And you don't know French? Oh, yes. That's unfortunate because Secret Story was so good. The premise of Secret Story is that every house guest has a secret, and week after week, everyone investigates each other's secret, but it's like the public voting, so it's really more of a popularity contest, but it's still really fun because the people in the house do not know who the public likes. So the people in the house are the ones nominating everyone, but then it's the public who decides who gets evicted. Well, the person who has the least amount of votes from the public. And also what's really cool is that every week in Secret Story, they have dilemmas, like they have missions and dilemmas. So missions is where they call it The Voice. It would be like The Big Brother, The Voice. He gives house guests missions that they have to fulfill. Like, for instance, pretend to be in love with that house guest for 1 week. And then when the mission goes well, he adds on, like, okay, pretend to be this, that, or do a big treason, like, literally so wild. And there's also this thing where they have dilemmas, where they have two options and they have to pick which options they would rather have. So let's say, and in Secret Story, everyone starts off with a cagnotte. It's like a stash, yeah. Everyone starts with a stash of 10,000 euros, and they can steal each other's money with different challenges. So let's say some dilemmas could be, do you want to steal 5,000 from that person or get a call from your mom? You know what I mean? Or do you want to take a call from your mom, but then if you take the call from your mom, this person loses $5,000 of their stashes. And when you guess someone's secret, you get their whole stash. So Secret Story is super, super fun. I'm rambling, but you should learn French just to be able to watch Secret Story. So Philly Dog said, Philly Dog MM2 says, my fave BB players are Dr. Will. Okay, Dr. Will, I feel so bad because I haven't watched season 2. I haven't gone that far back, but I know that Dr. Will is a legend. I've seen the clip. Eric Stein, he was America's player, right? I used to like him on, like, I watched a few podcasts with him. I like him. Jeff and Jordan. I haven't watched Jeff and Jordan's original season. So maybe the way that I've seen them in Big Brother 13, that's what tainted my opinion of them. I think, I think that's what it is. Jeff and Jordan's, yeah, their second season, they were too entitled to, we're the masters of the house, we're coming back, returning players. Just, yeah, BB13. But I did like watching his interviews with the house guests before when he used to do that. Ian Terry, yeah, I like Ian Terry. I had no problem against Ian. We haven't seen him a lot in the past season. Ian was really smart. I was surprised the way he was playing in BB14. Freaking love Johnny Mac. I think him, Davon, James, and the girl Meg, and what's his name, Jason, were like my favorites on his season. Zach, I freaking love Zach. BB16, Zach made me love Big Brother even more. So Zach was my favorite. Frankie started annoying me during that season. I was like, oh, Frankie, ugh, so annoying. Because you're not famous, bro. I mean, now I guess you are famous because you were in Big Brother Celebrity UK, but it's your sister that's famous, and it has gotten to his head, and that was kind of annoying to me during that season. Derek, I think Derek from BB16, I'm assuming. Derek, I like Derek. He was a really good player, but yeah, he was just a good player, but personality-wise, I really vibed with Zach. Derek X, I love Derek X. Derek X is my man right now. I really want him to win. He reminds me of Tyler, but I actually like him. Like, Tyler, it's not that I didn't like Tyler because Tyler is a nice guy, quote unquote, but I was really shipping him and Bailey. And when him and Bailey got into fights, that really disappointed me because I was rooting for them to be in a relation, to ship each other, to have a relationship. I know, my fandom crazy mindedness. Anyways, yeah, Derek X, I freaking love Derek X. He's giving me, I love him. Plus, I love Frenchie as a person because he's very nice, but his BB game was so bad. Yeah, I had no problems personality wise with Frenchie, and that's what I was saying in a previous live. I was saying that it's been a really long time that I haven't disliked the player for reasons other than him not being a big, like, how can I phrase this? Usually when I hate a house guest is because they say bigoted stuff, they say things that are inappropriate, and now it's been such a long time that I simply haven't liked the house guest for their game. Frenchie is a nice guy, I can acknowledge that, but in the house, he was a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know what I mean? He was a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Does that mean? If that makes sense. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, Dan was the mastermind. I watched BB14 in awe. This guy pulled every stunt in the book. He is so creative, and I do not understand how the other house guests did not see through him. I'm so surprised about that. Jeff is so funny. The thing is, I only remember Jeff in BB13, and I don't think he was as fun in BB13. I did like his interviews when he was interviewing the house guests, but maybe I should watch BB9. I think he was on. No. Yeah, BB9, right? With Eric Stein? Yeah, because BB10 was Dan Giesling, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe he BB11. I'm so confused. I forgot. Yeah, BB11. Okay, you say BB11. So Will and Dan and Derek are the best players of all time. They are really, really good. I wonder if you would put all of them in the house, how would their dynamics work together? Like, who would be the dominant player? I feel like Dan is the dominant player. Then I would put Derek. And then lastly, I would put Will. But Dan has such a big target on his back that he could never re-pull the stunt again. So BB8 was Eric Stein, yeah. So BB8 was America's player, and who else was this? It was Jesse's Spectacular and stuff like that in his season, if I'm not mistaken. Or I don't remember, yeah. But yeah, so moving on to the episode. Yeah, so Whitney tells Christian that she never said his name. Then you have a flashback to Derek Fraser actually throwing Whitney under the bus. So again, she's being thrown under the bus, and Whitney is so confused about what is happening. And then you have like those little cute segment of the house guests being friends. I knew this segment was foreshadowing for what was coming next. So you basically have who's it? I think it was Sarah Beth and Brittany hyping up Christian, saying, "Oh my God, can you do a burpee and a flip?" And Christian is like eating all of it up, saying, "Yeah, I can do that for you. Like, I'm so freaking strong. I'm gonna do burpees and flip for you. I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna show how much of a physical threat I am, you know, because I'm in Big Brother and I want to put a huge target on me." Bro, like, do not do that. Don't show off to people. Like, pretend to be not that good, because you see in the end, like, it's no surprise, he wins the power of veto. He won HOH. He won the power of veto. And that's painting a target on him. So I don't know why he was doing all of this, showing off. But then again, who cares? Doesn't change anything, because everyone knows that he's strong. So whatever. And he does a lot of, I think he works in manual labor, right? He's like a contractor or something. So not shocked that this guy is like super strong. And the thing I liked with Big Brother Canada this season is that it wasn't too heavily focused on physical competition. That's why it gave everyone a fair chance to win a competition. Whereas when you think of Big Brother Canada not Big Brother Canada, when you think of Big Brother USA right now, every single HOH has been a man and not a woman. So that tells you about the competitions a little bit. Sometimes it's luck, but sometimes it's really the competitions that are physical. And obviously, men tend to be bigger and more athletic than women. I mean, average women, right? And we're not comparing to athletes, but on average, men tend to be, especially in Big Brother, they tend to be more athletic. Phil Dog says, "Sorry if I'm chatting and I sub to you." No, I love it. Thank you so much. Yes, anybody else hates, put the likes, put the subscribe. By the way, I'm so happy to chat with you, because this is literally what's keeping the live stream engaging. So go ahead, like, all the thoughts you have, write them in the comment. I'm here to have a discussion. It's much more fun discussing with you than just talking about the episode. I'm just going through the episode to do it, you know, because that's what we have to do. But I love talking to people. Like, I would rather talk, you know, and it doesn't even have to be Big Brother. I mean, that's the central team. That's why we're here. But yo, like, I love it. I love this interaction. I don't like Christian and Alyssa. They're giving me too power couple. Like, we control the house. We're too strong. We're much prettier than everyone. Yeah, it's like, I'm indifferent to them. I don't totally hate them, because they're not like bigots and all of that. But I'm ready to see them go, to see them leave the house. I prefer seeing Derek X and Hannah's dynamic. I freaking ship them. But I feel like Hannah is more, I feel like this season, the girls are way more into the guys than the other way around, except for Alyssa and Christian. But I feel like Hannah likes more Derek than Derek likes her. And I feel like Azza likes more Xavier than Xavier likes her. You know how Xavier was like, you know, I'm not looking for a showmance in the house. I believe him a little bit, but I do feel like if it was a girl he was really into, he would really pursue that. He wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not looking for a showmance in the house. Because if you have love in front of you and it's genuine, I don't think anyone would let it go. Not for saying like, oh, I don't want a showmance in the Big Brother house. I think you would continue hanging out with the person, not necessarily put a title on it. But I would be surprised that if you're interested in someone and you say, no, I want the Big Brother prize, so I cannot be in a showmance. Like, it's human hormones. You are stuck 24/7 in a house. There's nothing to do. Apparently the boredom is crazy in this house, and you're telling me that you could have a showmance and you're choosing not to take it. You're only choosing not to take it because you don't want it, right? You don't want it. That's the reason why. Billy says, I think Christian is going to go next week. I think big target. Yeah, you know why I think he's going to go next week? I think it's a strong possibility because first of all, his team is a team of 4. The cookout is not going to target Xavier. I don't think they're going to target Alyssa because so far Alyssa has not shown us anything in terms of competition. She's not even that sociable. I think she's very stuck with Christian. She doesn't really interact with the rest of the house from what I'm seeing from Alyssa. And Sarah Beth, I don't think, other than Hannah, I don't think she's on anyone's target. So if the Kings don't win HOH next week, very likely that Christian is the target. But then again, he can always win veto, because we know that Big Brother, you know, Big Brother likes competition that are meant for strong people, and Christian has a chance of winning it. Also, they said, I think tomorrow an endurance comp is starting. Christian is not going to be part of that comp because he won HOH. Usually after an endurance comp, do you have a mental comp, or is it also a physical comp? So maybe that's going to be our saving grace for Christian to go. Bye-bye, Christian. You know, smiling. Yeah, because I'm happy to see you in the chat. To be honest, Christian hair is so weird. Yeah, I think it's the curl. I think it's the color. Let me pull up a picture of Christian. I think it's the color of his hair. Is it the color? Does he have blonde streaks? I think there's something. I think it's because I think you know what? I think I would have liked it more if he had like a buzz cut on the side. Not a complete buzz cut, but if it was shorter on the side and he had a little, like, the best hair for curly haired guys is really when it's like curly on the top and it falls down a little bit, and here it's like lower on the sides. I think that's the best haircut for curly haired guys. Let me see if curly haired guys haircut, right? I'm googling to see. Yeah, I found exactly what I'm talking about, what I was thinking about. I don't know if I can download the picture. I'm gonna download the picture, but even sometimes longer than the picture that I'm looking at right now. I'm gonna show you because I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's downloading. You guys gonna see it in a few seconds. I think with a guy with curly hair, that kind of haircut with the sides that are a bit shorter and the top much longer is what looks best, I think. Let's see Travis. Yeah, Travis is no. I think Travis is the one who had the streaks. I said Christian, but I think, yeah, if Christian had this haircut, I think it would be more polished and more, yeah, prettier, you know, just prettier. But I know that having curly hair is very complicated. So that's why I don't want to go in on him too much, you know, because I know the struggle of the curly. Evil D from BB8 is so evil, you know. Oh yeah, evil. Yeah, Danielle, Danny, sorry, Danny and Dick and Danielle. That's the thing. That's the reason why I don't want to watch BB8. Initially, I was like, oh, I want to see who this guy is because everyone's talking about him. Everyone's saying how mean he is. But then, you know, with my 2021 eyes, I feel like I'm more sensitive to bullying because I think he was a bully, right? He was a bully. And because of that, I don't know if it's going to make me feel uncomfortable rewatching that season, knowing how much. I think there was this girl, Jennifer, if I'm not mistaken, that he was Jenny or something, that he was harassing. And with 2021 eyes, I don't know if I could watch that, if it would be too painful for me, because I'm a sensitive bitch a little bit. I'm just a little bit of a sensitive bitch, you know what I mean? It's a great season. I know it is because I know it is because I watched this guy on YouTube called Peridium, and he does a lot of video breaking down the history of YouTube, breaking down the history of seasons, like the best moves, the things that changed the game forever, the best seasons, blah, blah, blah. He does a bunch of videos like that. And in one of them, he was saying that actually Evil Dick, you know, when Evil Dick was HOH, he had a code with his I think it was his son or something, that in the letter, like the first letter of the first letter in the letter and the last letter in the letter would tell him who not to trust in the house. So that's the code that they had amongst each other, and that's how he was able to target the right people in the house week after week. So that's one thing production didn't see, and I think that's why now, if I'm not mistaken, the production vets the letters before sending them to the house guests or rearranges them or whatever. So that's one thing. Yeah, exactly. I kind of like him in that season because he played the game so well. I know he did, and him and Danielle, literally their game was insane from what I've heard, and even from the highlights, I feel like I know what happened. Like in the end, the 7-hour HOH, when won the HOH. Like I know the highlights of this season, right? And yes, the game was amazing, but with my 2021 eyes, I'm asking myself, would I be able to watch it, you know? But yeah, I do think that it was a great season from what I heard. I heard like let's say pre BB13, the seasons were great. And then after it went downhill, after that, it became kind of the same. And even right now, when I watch Big Brother, I feel like they're always repeating how the game works. In the DR, we don't have the raw emotions of how people feel. They are explaining how the game works. So that bothers me a little with current Big Brother. He didn't trust Eric. Well, Eric was America's player, so obviously he wasn't trustworthy, right? Sorry, I heard noise. But yeah, so moving on. Oh yeah, we got Azza talking about her little middle school crush on Xavier. I love that because Azza is so guarded with her emotions. She is so stone cold. Sometimes she doesn't, not stone cold, but I feel like she has a hard time opening up. She's very secluded. I think she spends a lot of time alone. So for her to admit that she had a crush on Xavier, I thought it was so cute and so endearing. Basically, um she's rolling her eyes at Whitney because Whitney is touching Xavier's arms and Xavier's hands and like low key a little bit flirting with him. I think it's really to be in his good graces. Azza's watching from the side like, ugh, I don't like that. And now Azza has literally made it her mission to target Whitney because of the jealousy. And literally, Azza says, I'm human. I literally want to target her because I'm jealous and I want her out of there. But realistically, I think there's a part of her that, you know, wants to target Whitney because she doesn't like the fact that she's flirting with Xavier, but also the fact that Hannah is part of the cookout. So anyways, either way, Whitney was a target anyways, right? um she finds out Whitney's too close. That's really funny. And yeah, she's she is super upfront about wanting her out of the house. And then I'm so surprised because I never thought Azza would actually spill the beans to Xavier. She's like, yo, Xavier, I feel like we're in middle school. And Xavier's like, what do you mean? Like, why do you mean? And Azza just tells him like straight up, like, yo, I have a crush on you. And Xavier's like, we didn't really see Xavier's reaction. He just laughed it off a little bit and he's like telling the DR that he doesn't want a showmance. Like I said, I just think he doesn't want Azza like that because if you like someone and they tell you that they like you back, there's a very high chance that you want to pursue that because you literally have nothing else to do in the house. So why would you forego having a showmance? I don't believe when people say they don't want a showmance. I feel like when it presents itself and they really want it, they will go for it. So yeah, so Xavier calls it Operation No Man's, right? And he says that, and he tells Azza not to worry because Whitney is literally still the target. Phil Dog MM2 says, did you know the thing you said about the letter? Evil D shouldn't trust the only letter with the letter E, so he could not trust Eric. Yeah, I'm assuming that's why. I'm assuming that's why he didn't trust Eric because the letters in the letters pointed to Eric's initials. Remembers Eric Task? Yeah, I think Eric was just America's player, right? He had to do everything that America was asking of him. I haven't watched the season, but I just know what happened because I consume so much Big Brother content, like Big Brother external content. I love watching YouTube for that. And then Phil Dog says, and at the end, the final episode of BB8, Eric reveals to everyone about he was America's player. See, I haven't watched. I wish I would have watched. Damn, maybe I should watch. Every time you guys talk to me about a season, it's making me want to watch it. But I do know that I get so lazy because I'm like, oh my God, it's so far back in time and there's so much. And I know that if I watch that season, I'm going to get addicted and I'm going to waste so much time watching TV, you know? So much time watching TV. Big Brother is my guilty pleasure. I know I'm gonna like it. I know I'm gonna want to press like next episode and binge watch them. The thing is that it's so hard to find nowadays as well. I think some seasons I was able to find them on YouTube, but not all the episodes were there, so they were easy. But I feel like past a certain point, It's gonna be hard to find, but I'm gonna do my best. It's really on my bucket list. I've been saying this for months now that I have to watch Big Brother, but now I really have to do it for real, for real. I'm a huge BB fan, bro. Do you know that Big Brother defined my entire personality for the past 10 years? I started watching Big Brother about 10 years ago. When Big Brother 15 came out, that was Big Brother 15 was my first season, so that was in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. BB 15. Let's see, when did it air? BB 15, yeah, it aired in 2013. So 8 years. I've been a fan of Big Brother for 8 years now. Huge fan. I loved it. Watch it. It's really funny. Okay, it's on my bucket list for real. I know I keep promising on this channel that I'm gonna watch seasons, but this time I really, really mean it. I'm not gonna flake. My favorite season and Big Brother 14. Big Brother 14, Dan, the stunts he was able to pull, like this whole 24-hour isolation. You know, I always heard of Dan's funeral, and now that I saw how it went down, this guy's a freaking mastermind. Mastermind. I could never think of a plan that great. Like, how? Yes, Dan's funeral. Yeah, like so insane. Like, how do you think of that? And even in the end, when he blindsided Danielle, what? And did you see in in Brother 22, they were talking about Danielle Murphy, and Ian hated her guts. And I think it's really because Ian hated her guts that he didn't bring her to finale. Because in Big Brother 22, I think on the live feeds they kept telling him to stop trashing Danielle. I think who else was on his season that was also on Danielle? There was another person in the house, and I forget who it is. Who was with Ian of his season? Oh, Janelle. Yes, Janelle. Janelle was also trashing Danielle. They both hated her. Great line in this game. You're dead to me. Yo, this is like the funeral, right? Oh my god, it was insane. And Danielle not understanding what is going on, bro. You're talking to the mastermind. That's why you do not know what's going on. And Shane, who's Shane again? Shane. Who's Shane again? Oh, Shane was the lover of the girl. But yeah. Never mind, love. What about Shane? What are you saying about Shane? I kind of forget about the season because I really watched it quickly. And I watched it on YouTube and there were like many episodes missing. So I really wasn't able to have like my full, I don't remember the house guests, but all the Dan moments, I remember them. Like all the Dan moments. But other than that, the season is a bit like nebulous to me. Do you know Dan does Twitch? Yeah, I do know he does Twitch, but I don't follow him on Twitch. What kind of content does he do on Twitch? I don't really watch it. Anyways, after continuing the episode, Derek tells Whitney that he wants to win veto because that's the best option, right? Because he's able to save one of them, and it gives maybe a chance for the 3 members of the aces to remain in the house, right? But you should have thought of that before throwing Whitney under the bus, right? So Derek wants to win to save his entire team. Then it's so funny, we see a scene between Hannah and Derek. I love their little banter. Oh my god, I love them so much. But I feel like Hannah is more into Derek than the other way around. But Hannah says, I think I have to pretend to mope, right? If that I'm on the block and everything. And Derek says, like you do so just stay your usual self. And I was like, LOL, the banter. That's the kind of love story I love. I'm gonna cry. Oop. Not my ugly nails. I try to do acrylic on my own. I try to put them on my own, but it came out so bad. So I need to get this view out of the camera. Anyways, Hannah asks Derek, so if I get house guest choice, can I pick you? And I feel like the reason why we see this segment is literally because she ended up picking the chip house guest choice. So to me, that was again foreshadowing, showing that she is going to have to make that decision and explaining why she made that decision. You said BRB gonna take a shower. Sorry, I was so happy to see you here. Don't worry. See you next time. Have a good shower. Have a fun shower, and I'm going to read your other comments. Did you know that Big Brother Queen Janelle liked my comment and then said hi to me? In which context? In which context? On Twitter? On like where? You're so cool. You're like cooler than everyone. But please explain the context if you eventually come back from your shower. Yeah, gaming. I figured it was a gaming channel. So yeah, moving on with the episode. So yeah, and now they're like cleaning the house. Asa falls. Asa does a moonwalk and she falls on Xavier, and she's so embarrassed for falling on Xavier, but she's like, I'm so happy to be falling on him. But you know, Sasu's not here today, but I think Xavier is a nice person, okay? Xavier is a nice person, such a gentleman, such a gentleman. But I was saying that he's giving me Matt James, and I feel like this is why we're not having a showmance between Xavier and Asa, because deep down he has Matt James tendencies. That's my assumption. But I could be wrong. It's not good to place judgment on people, but ow, my neck, ow, ow, ow. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of getting from Xavier, but I love Xavier. I love Xavier. That's what's making me sad. But anyways, after that, it's the veto pick. Christian picks Claire. Claire has no stake because she's literally here till jury. I don't know if that's a good thing. If you guys have watched Big Brother Canada 5, we know that it went poorly for one of the house guests. So Claire, you better be careful. You don't want to have a target because you can't be an option till jury. Hannah picks house guest choice, so she picks Derek X to play the game. Whitney says that she feels betrayed, but what was Hannah supposed to do? Who was Hannah supposed to pick instead? You know what I mean? It literally makes sense. And also, even if in any situation, that's literally Whitney's best case scenario, because if Hannah gets saved, there's a chance that another house guest is put on the block against Whitney, and Whitney has a better chance of staying versus that new house guest. So I don't know why Whitney feels betrayed. I mean, yes, I get it. She's the least favorite. It must be weird. I'm sure, like, in real life, most guys love Whitney because she's a very attractive, and she's very, girly. Yeah, she's a very girly girl. So I know that this type of woman, especially when you're blonde, attracts a lot of guys. And it must be weird for her that she's not the first choice for like once, you know? It must be weird to her. Anyways, Whitney picks Asa to play the game. So yeah, so Tiffany is letting Hannah know that be careful, you're on Sarah Beth's radar. So you better be careful about Sarah Beth, you know? And yeah, Tiffany's like, I don't trust SB, you know? So yeah, she says that SB has an eye out for Hannah. Anyways, and then we see the competition. I literally hate that kind of competition. I hate that kind of competition where you have to throw a ball and go get it on the other side, because all of the effort, you can lose all of the effort you have put in literally 1 second. And as a person who is impatient about that kind of stuff, I would not like playing that competition. I would hate it, and I hate watching it because it makes my blood boil, because my patience cannot. Big Brother, you need to retire that freaking competition. I hate it so much. And also, for sure, someone athletic is going to win it because it's literally cardio. It's literally cardio, right? So I hate that competition. So yeah, what is left? Yeah, Sarah Beth is the only one rooting for Whitney. That's kind of funny. I thought that was funny that Sarah Beth is the only one rooting for Whitney. We know, but it's not enough, girl. You can't be a solo man rooting for one person, you know? Unsurprisingly, right, we had our foreshadowing at the top of the episode. Christian wins the competition. Are we surprised? No. Yeah, so then we see the rest of the episode, and I missed the first part because I thought nothing was gonna happen. I was like, okay, Christian didn't win the Christian did not win. Oopsie. I was like, okay, Christian won the veto, so whatever, he's not gonna use it, blah blah, so nothing is gonna happen. I was setting up my setup for my live stream and going about my life, and then I missed the part where Derek X said that next week it's gonna be him and Hannah of the team on Slop. And then I think Whitney overheard. Was she in the room or did she just overhear? But yeah, Whitney overheard and she was super insulted by that. And she went to tell the whole house, okay, so Derek X is basically saying that I'm the target, that I'm leaving this week. That is so insensitive. And I feel like every season, even in Big Brother Canada 9, the same mistake is made where people talk about the next week as if the person who is still in the house, as if the person who is the target is no longer in the house. So yeah, and that was the excuse that Whitney needed to put her plan in motion and to throw Derek X under the bus and to basically exhaust all of her cards to try to stay in the house. I feel like before, because she had that loyalty, she didn't feel comfortable doing it. But now she's like, you know what? F it. They know I'm out. They're not going to fight for me. So whatever. Let me just go ham and say what I got to say to stay in the house, you know? And Derek is so apologetic. He feels so bad about it, but it's literally such a big bad mistake. They did it to Josh last season, and I think they did it to another last season. I mean, Big Brother Canada 9, and they also did it to another house guest. I forget who it is, but yeah. So that sucked. Yeah, I think it was Kiefer who did it to Josh. Whitney wants so now Whitney wants to paint a target on Derek X's back, because I mean, yeah, it makes sense. So she goes to see Christian and she lets Christian know, like, yo, bro, Derek X is literally winning competition. He is so good. He's so liked in the house. He should be a better target than me. So why are you targeting me? I'm literally not a threat. And then I think so she found the excuse. So after that, at the POV ceremony, Christian does not use the POV. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised. By the way, guys, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, just to do your thing, encourage a little channel. But anyway, so that's that. POV is not used. And in the end, Azza, I thought it was really funny because Azza wants to see Brittany go because of her little high school crush. Anyways, I'm so happy to have done this live stream again. Once again, thank you, Philly Dog, for being here. So happy to have you here. So happy to talk to you guys. I don't mind talking alone. I don't mind talking alone and you guys watching this live stream in deferral. Is that how you say it? Deferred version. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you next Wednesday. Bye bye. Look at me trying to look for the end broadcast button while I say bye. Bye bye.